With violence in Egypt continuing, U.S. lawmakers are questioning Washington's decision to hold back major weapons from a longtime ally, Democratic Congressman Eliot Engel.
The region's falling apart, Syria spiraling out of control, Iran looms as a significant threat. It just seems to me that it's not very wise to any risk alienating our traditional allies and friends.
Withholding tanks and attack helicopters punishes a military that toppled an increasingly authoritarian Muslim Brotherhood-led government, says Republican Congressman Dana Rohrabacher.
We're hanging General Assisi and the people that we're applauding for defeating radical Islam in Egypt. We're leaving them hanging out to dry.
But the U.S. has taken a more nuanced view of the ouster of Mohamed Morsi, Egypt's first freely elected president. Since his overthrow, human rights groups have deplored the crackdown on Muslim Brotherhood supporters, mass arrests, and other widespread abuses. The U.S. says the decision to hold back tanks, missiles, and attack helicopters does not affect its support for counterterrorism efforts in the lawless Sinai Peninsula, which borders Israel. Assistant Secretary of Defense Derek Chollet.
They have considerable operational capability in the Sinai that they are using, and we are assisting them with sustaining those weapon systems that they do have, which do overpower the extremists.
Since Mr. Morsi's ouster, the Obama administration has been trying to reassure both pro-democracy activists and the military-led government that replaced him, says American University professor Akbar Ahmed. He says that weakens U.S. standing in Cairo.
If Egypt has a vacuum of power, authority, finances, someone is going to fill that. It's going to be either Russia, maybe China, or more immediately the Saudis.
Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have moved to help fund Egypt's interim government. Democratic Congressman Ted Deutsch.
Given the vast resources the Gulf states have provided to the interim government, we must act in a way to preserve our influence. Part of that is through assistance. Part of that is continuing to advocate for democracy.
Washington is pushing for democracy, says Acting Assistant Secretary of State Beth Jones.
We do intend to continue working with the interim government. We have explained this in great detail to the interim government, and as we recalibrated our assistance, focused on the core national interests of the United States.
The Obama administration says its partnership with Egypt will be strongest when there's an inclusive, democratically elected civilian government based on the rule of law. Scott Stearns, VOA News at the State Department.